Yo, yo, yo. Okay. My bad. Yeah, I don't got my stage top though. Top of the morning, peace and love. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, family. Happy Sunday. Sunday, April 19th. April 19th, man. The days are getting like, whoa, what's the day? What day is it for real? Um, Sunday, April 19th, 2026, man. Day 37 days. Our food is the same. But when you commit it to a mission, do whatever it takes to bring your vision into fruition. And that's all I'm doing, man. I got this wild vision to heal the world. I got this wild vision to make the world a better place, man. I am tired of the war. I am tired of the tragic atrocities amongst young people, man. Tragic atrocities amongst freaking couples, domestic violence, family violence. Um, I really believe that we could create a healed world. I really believe that we could see a world in our lifetime where people are kinder to each other, where people are more forgiving, more compassionate, more understanding, more loving. All right, I really believe that world is possible. I actually know that world is possible because I am part of that world. I was someone who once didn't care about myself, didn't care about family, didn't care about friends. I'm not really, right? Like anybody can get it at any time, verbally, physically. But today, I love myself. Today, I love my family. Today, I love my friends. I love even the people who cause me harm, even the people who speak bad upon me, even the people who cuss me out, man, and all those things, man. I still feel love for them today. So I know that I feel that it's possible because people have healed. I have healed. The others have healed from the life. So that's the vision, man. And again, when you are committed to something, when you have a vision, you're on a mission that's bigger than yourself, you do whatever necessary to make it happen. You do whatever necessary to see it come true, see it become a reality, right? And I'm doing as much as I can, and I'm sure I could be doing more, and I will always do more and follow my spirit to bring that world into our reality, right? For myself, for my loved ones, for distant relatives, for those who are not blood related, right? For all of humanity, those here today, those coming tomorrow, right? I will always do as much as I can to ensure that we have a more peaceful place to live, right? So this morning we're gonna talk about youth violence, and specifically we're gonna ask the question, and we're gonna do our best to answer the question: why are our youth so violent? Why are our youth, these are our youth, and why are they so violent? All right, that is the topic for this morning, this Sunday. Again, every Sunday we're here to talk about a topic, very specific topic, and to break it down, build on it, expound on it, and see if we can, get some more understanding of the topic that we're talking about on Sunday. Like it's like a sermon, like coming to surface, right, for a sermon. If you know me, you know that I love talking, but I don't like talking just to talk. I like talking about shit that matters, right? I like talking about things that impact us, people, human, black folks, brown folks, and all of the other folks, right? We're all family at the end of the day, right? We're all interconnected. We're all sharing this space, this earth at this time, and our children will share this space, this earth at another time, all right? And so, it matters. Our energy matters. What we put out matters. What we build today matters. What we don't build today has an impact as well, right? So again, I'm just striving to use my time as productively as possible while I'm here, knowing that I'm here for a short time, all right, to address the issues that impact my community, the issues that impact the world, to fulfill my heart's desires. And my biggest desire is to create a healed world where we can focus on the things that we want to focus on, like art, creativity, right, engineering, and just different things like that. Man, my before anything, I'm an artist, and um, I really wish, right, funny word. I really wish that the world was in a better place so that I could simply focus on my art, right, and focus on creating films and just focus on writing books and just focus on sculpting and painting and all of the artistic things that I've always loved doing and I love doing now, and acting in films and on stage and theater. And I wish I could focus on just those things. But the way my brain is set up, the way my spirit is set up, the way my life is set up, I am not able to focus on just those things because I have this burning passion to see this healed world, right? And I've never wanted to be the type. I've never been the type to point the finger and say those people should do it. They should do it. Oh, why are they not doing it? And wait. I've never been the type to wait for someone to do something. If I see an issue, if I see something I want, I'm going to figure out how do I get it? How do I address that issue? What can I do? Right? And so when we talk about the world, the state of the world that we're living in, the state of our communities across the globe, is what can I do? What can I do with my energy? What can I do with my time? What can I do with my thoughts, my ideas, my creativity? How can I use all that I am, all that I have to direct towards this ultimate cause? And so, yes, I have made films, I have written some books, I have written some things, I have done some things artistically, but it is a lot in yeah, I know that like shows like this are necessary. So I'm doing this as well. I know that all of the things are necessary, man. So I'm doing as much as I fucking can to make the world a better place. So that's the topic for today. That's what we're going to get into. Before we get into all of that, we are going to get into a prayer. Right? I do start every morning with the meditation and a prayer, and already did that this morning. Right, my prayer is pretty much the same, sometimes a little more intense, but it's pretty much the same every day for my friends, for my family, my children. All right, my fiance, man, her children, her family, the friends of our families, the families of our friends, right? The people of the world generally, the people who are coming, right? The earth, the plants, the animals, right? My prayer is pretty general, and today we're gonna pray. All right, we're gonna burn some sage. The windows open. Yeah, we're gonna burn some sage this morning, man. We're gonna pause TikTok. TikTok does not allow any smoke in their live. They ban me enough for a lot of things. All right, definitely don't want to keep getting banned on TikTok. So gonna pause TikTok live for a moment, right? And we will be back. Miss Juicy, what up? Sefu, what up? Mona Love, what up? Let's pause this TikTok. Pause live. Pause. So you can't go over 5 minutes, right? So very simple. It's burn the sage. Let's get into this prayer. On this Sunday morning, my prayer is that every person who hears these words, and every person connected to those who hear these words, remembers that life is valuable. Their life is valuable. The lives of their families are valuable. The lives of their friends are valuable. The lives of their neighbors are valuable. The lives of their neighbors' children are valuable. The lives of their co-workers are valuable. The lives of everyone that they pass are indeed valuable. My prayer on this Sunday is that our youth remember that they are human. My prayer on this Sunday is that our youth remember that their lives are valuable. My prayer on this Sunday is that our youth remember that life happens fast and that life is real and that their dreams are possible. My prayer on this Sunday morning is that us as adults, the parents, the uncles, the aunts, the big brothers and big sisters, the caretakers, the bus drivers, the train drivers, the people walking in the neighborhood, I pray that we as adults guide our youth, help our youth remember that their lives are indeed valuable, that their dreams are indeed possible, and that there are other ways to handle conflict than through fighting and going the extra mile. My prayer on this Sunday morning is that us as adults remember that we were once children, how tough it is to be a youth, how much pressure it is being a youth, how much expectation is set on youth, And I pray that us as adults give them some grace, give them some compassion, but put a little bit of pressure on them to pull them in back to themselves, back to love, back to peace. Help them remember that they are beautiful and they are great and they are powerful, and that they can be anything that they want to be. My prayer on this Sunday morning is that we adults help the youth remember who they were before their families, society told them who they had to be or who they couldn't be or who they should be. My prayer on this Sunday morning is that peace prevails, is that we all get filled with more compassion, more grace, more love, more patience, more stillness, more calmness. My prayer on this Sunday morning is that we as parents, we as adults, we as uncles, aunts, and caretakers, that we grab a youth and we mentor them, we pour into them, especially those who are more troubled. My prayer on this Sunday morning is that the hearts of the youth who have been abused be softened. My prayer on this Sunday morning is that those adults who are abusing youth find a better way to communicate and get their point across. My prayer on this Sunday morning is that love wins. Love wins. Love wins. I know that it is possible. I know that we can make it happen. I know that we can save our young people. I know that it's going to take all of us to do it. So my prayer on this Sunday morning is that we as adults work together to create a more peaceful environment for our children. My prayer on this Sunday morning is that we as adults get past our own conflicts with each other and set better examples for our young people. My prayer on this Sunday morning is that we as adults heal our pains and our traumas so that we do not pass them on to our children. My prayer on this Sunday morning is that us as adults and our young people begin to work together a little more, to be a little more honest, to be a little more vulnerable, a little more transparent as we work to heal ourselves, to heal our communities, and to heal our world. That is my prayer on a Sunday morning. Say amen, Ashe. And so it is, and so it shall be forevermore. May peace prevail. Love always wins. Ashe. Give thanks. TikTok, my prayer was just simply about peace prevailing, about love winning, about us as adults doing a better job at healing ourselves, not passing our traumas and our pains down to our young people who have been abused, heart being softened, right? So let's get right into it. Why are our youth violent? Why are our youth so violent? Right? Not just violent, they're so violent. So I was talking last night. I started to get into it on last night's live stream, and never forget reading this quote years ago, and I've been using it ever since. Why are we violent? We are violent because we are violent. It's simple as that, right? We are a violent country. We are a violent world. The baby being slapped on the butt when the baby's born, that's violence. The violent cartoons, the violent comic books that children read, that they see. Like, we were watching violent cartoons as small children, right? Roadrunner was violent, right? Freaking Elmer Fudd was violent, right? Like, there was so many. Tom and Jerry was violent. There were so many violent cartoons, so many violent comic books. Like, children are introduced to violence before they know their ABCs, before they can read, before they can count, before they know their names and their ages. They're watching violence. They're listening to violence, right? Food, the food that we eat, killing something for your own benefit, taking a life of something for your own benefit. And even if you're not taking a life, right, even if it's not you necessarily physically doing it, the fact that you eat certain food, eat animals, you are condoning the taking of life, right? It's as simple as that. And so understand that all of that contributes to a certain mindset of violence. All that contributes to a certain spirit space, heart space of violence, that it's okay. It's okay to satisfy your own good. So when we talk about, there are so many people who say the senseless violence amongst our youth, it's not senseless. Maybe to you, you may have a little more sense, but to them, it's not senseless, because it's levels to this shit. Because someone can say, yo, it's senseless killing other animals. You can say, well, I need to eat. Young people saying they need to satisfy that urge inside of them as well. They need to fight for their pride. They need to, this person is violating them, right? So, plain and simple, why are our youth so violent? Because we as adults for generations have been violent. There's wars going on right now, violence. Adults are violent, right? Freaking, we just sort of heard about the tragedy in Virginia. The man killed his wife and took his own life. And there's so many more stories like that. There's so many stories like that. There are the stories of the child taking the life of the parent taking the life of the child. The guy a couple years ago took everybody's life. His wife, his children, himself. Right? So why are our youth so violent? Because we have propagated violence for generations as adults, right? As adults. And so some people will say, oh, well, the youth today are way more vicious than we've ever been. Clearly, there's more access to weapons, right? Easy, you can get weapons a lot easier today, right? Specifically guns, you get them a lot easier today. Also, social media. Social media makes it more visible, right? And one thing I've learned, one thing I think a lot of us have realized is that some attention is better than bad attention is better than no attention, right? Everybody has a innate or internal sense of belonging. They want to belong. They want to be part of something, right? They want to be celebrated. They want to be hyped up. If they can't be hyped up for the right thing, they'll be hyped up for the wrong thing, and they're okay with that, regardless of how dangerous it is, right? Of whatever the thing is that they're doing, right? We saw the youth climbing the freaking bridge, and the one young person got stuck. His friends left him. He recorded, left him, posted it. Somebody seen it. Another friend seen it. Called the authorities. Thankfully, he was there from fucking midday to 9 at night. He said like 1 p.m., 12 something p.m. to 9 at night, 9:30 at night. Authorities got him. Right? Attention. Even at the risk of hurting myself. So part of it is, unfortunately, the prefrontal cortex is not fully developed. Doesn't really develop. Some say 25. Science is showing 30. Right? And based on how much trauma is experienced in the brain, right? Because trauma is just not what happens to you physically. Trauma is how the brain responds and processes and calculates and stores that trauma. Started reading the book, The Body Keeps a Score. It stays in your body, right? So the brain, the body, this shit is deep. And so our young people are not making the best decisions. And so it's us. And so the real deal, a lot of people, so pause. What inspired this conversation specifically, right? Thursday night, Thursday afternoon, young person, 15 years old, Roy Wilkins Park, Queens, New York, jumped and his life was taken in the park. Broad daylight, tons of young people. Nobody intervened, nobody broke it up, nobody helped, they left him. Adults are calling for the young person who did it and the people involved and everybody watching to go to prison, to be taken down in the worst ways. I posted a question on my Facebook. If violence is not the answer, then violence should not be the answer, right? So if violence is not the answer generally amongst young people, then how is it the answer for the adults, the parents of the young person whose life was taken, whose life was lost, to then commit violence against the other young people? How is that a solution, right? And so the question I asked was, do you want to solve the problem or do you just want to be angry? And anger is okay if it's fueled in the right place, right? I asked the question, is there no space for restorative justice? Right? Is there no space for, what, literally, like, the way my brain works, and I know that everybody is different. My brain works in a way where young people do something heinous. My first thought is, what does this young person have to be going through to do that thing, whatever the thing was? What did they have to be going through? What was going on in their minds? What was going on in their hearts? What was going on in their spirits to do this thing, to take another life in this way and to throw their own life away. Like what was happening in their life, right? What was happening in their life? And then some people will blame the parents. There's some parents who really don't know what their children are doing. Oh, they know all the stuff is on Snapchat, all the stuff is in the group chat. They know. If they really cared, they will look. Easy for you to say. Easy for you to say. Parents know. Some parents don't. Some parents who know what their children are up to try to get help. They try to get help. Help is not always available. Try to get support. Support is not always available. Right? At a certain age, you can't force your young person to do anything. Some adults, some parents are scared of their youth. Or their youth, right? Like the youth children have hurt parents. Right? Some parents know, try to talk to the young people, their young people. They pray for their young people. They don't get help. Why? Because we also been conditioned to the mindset that what goes on in this house stays in this house. So I ain't putting my business in the street. My young person's getting in trouble. I ain't telling everybody. Like my mother knew some stuff I was doing. She didn't know everything, right? And clearly she would talk to me. She tried the hitting, the yelling, the screaming, the putting on punishment, the threatening, all that stuff, but she didn't really reach out for help. Just other people knew I was getting into shit in the community center and they was able to help, right, in some ways. And clearly I still ended up going to prison. But she didn't get help. And she would like front, right? Like everything's all good. I remember getting suspended sometimes, come home from school early in the day, and people would say, oh, he's home from school. So she'd be like, yeah, he's not feeling so well. Not, oh, he got suspended. He was in school fighting. He was in school doing this. Oh, he's not feeling so good today. He's going to be home for a couple of days. That's what she would say to her friends when they would ask her why I was at home so early, or not even like so curious like that. Like, oh, Snappy's home early. Oh, you're not working today, and then that would be her excuse. Not being honest. We don't want to be honest about the issues going on in our families, the issues going on with our children. We want to like act like it's not that serious, right? And again, those are the parents who have an idea of what their children are doing. Some don't know. Some don't know because some children put on the front. Right? Some children are really good at fronting. Like in us as adults, we know that there were times when maybe we were good at fronting, right? Acting like we wasn't up to nothing. We got stuff going on in our bag. We got stuff, when we leave out the crib, we changing our clothes, changing our shoes, and we going over here to do this. My mother, for the most part, believed that every day I left the house, I was going to school. I cut most of the days. Middle school, I was cutting. High school, I really was cutting. And she didn't find out until report cards came. Or she got a call at the house. Oh, LaShawn hasn't been in school in 3 weeks. Where the fuck was you? It's cutting school. And then again, she do all of the things, the yelling, the cursing, the screaming, the threatening. That's another thing. People, it's like, man, shit is a fucked up situation, right? Because our young people, right? A lot of the violence they learn is from home, right? So this is what's so fucked up about these conversations and this commentary that's going on right now, because parents will say, or adults right now on social media talking about this situation specifically and all the other situations amongst youth, is parents need to fucking do something. They need to be involved, to beat their ass. The parents beat the young person's ass. My ass was beat. Young people mostly go outside, can't do nothing to the parent, right? Or those who won't do anything to their parent, they go outside and take the violence out amongst the first person that acts like they are not without whatever our program is, right? And we want to do worse. And we also condition in that mindset, somebody do something to you, you do worse to them. So somebody said something to you, looked at you funny, right? Said no to you about something. No, you feel like it's a violation, you're going to do the worst thing possible to them. Somebody hit you, you pick up a stick and knock the shit out of them. That's what I was taught. You can't get a stick, get a bottle, get something and bust them upside the fucking head. Whoa, is it that serious? Is it that serious? And I know that I'm not the only person that was taught that. My siblings were taught that, right? My cousins were taught that, right? My friends was taught that. Oh my goodness, TikTok, all these violent warnings. Oh my gosh, TikTok is fucking crazy. But yeah, man. That was a lot of the messaging that we received, right? So our young people, I feel so bad because they don't really stand a chance, right? They are being inundated with these messages that they have to live a certain way, they have to be a certain way, they have to be vicious, they have to be violent, they have to live like this, they have to respond to conflict like this, right? Because the adults put the pressure on them, their parents, the uncles, the aunts, the cousins, the older siblings, the freaking neighbors' parents, the people in the neighborhood. So why do young people, um, number one, like we jump people. I didn't jump anybody, right? Like I was never part of the jumping stuff. I actually was like, yo, we ain't jumping nobody. I could fight 1-on-1. If I get beat up, I'm gonna keep fighting, right? That was me. Not letting my friends jump anybody if I'm there, right? Like that was who I was and who I am, right? I'm not letting nobody get jumped. But my peers, right? I'm 42. My peers, the older folks, jump people, and other people watched, right? Adults, when I was a teenager and there were big fights, brawls, adults watched. They didn't have cell phones, so there was no filming, but they watched and then they went and gossiped about it, right? Such and such got his ass whipped. They need to come back. They need to toughen up. All of that stuff. Bullying happened then. So when we talk about why can stuff like this happen where a young person could get jumped, everybody sit and watch, nobody do anything. Because how many fights have there been in the hood where somebody has been getting beat up and nobody intervened, nobody did anything? Said, no, don't break it up. Right. There's and then a person who tries to break it up sometimes gets beat up, gets hurt themselves. Right? They get hurt themselves, and so they may learn like I am minding my business. And that's we mind our business. This is our business. Right? How many different ways is that message spewed? Mind your business. I'm like, my community is not my business. These young people are not my business. They told me that, right? Like, yo, mind your business, Sugar Ray. No, this is my business. This is my business. People have told me that over the years as I've been, my life has changed. I've been committed to creating a peaceful community. Right? Mind your business. My brother Ray and I, we got jumped because we wasn't gonna let a bunch of young people go to another young person's house and jump him. So we got involved and they jumped us. And like, you should mind your business. No, this is our business. Like I'd rather us get jumped, right? We are adults, right? And they wasn't like teenagers, they were a little younger than us. We were in our 30s, I believe. They were in their, mid-20s. They had chains and bats. Like, nah, you're not going to that young person's house to do that. Mm-mm. What happened? And then, it was alcohol involved and quickly escalated, right? Quickly escalated, and they jumped us. There was like 10 of them and 2 of us. All right. But again, I would rather that happen, knowing I could defend myself, knowing like I know how to cover up. I also could I'm really resilient, and so yeah. But this is my business, and until more of us adults start to see these situations as our business, there were adults saying on social media, "Oh, they was driving by and they saw all the commotion with the young people, and nobody stopped their car to go over there." I don't even know how many. I've seen so many adults on these posts comment that they were driving by and they saw the commotion. Nobody went over there. Nobody. They didn't call the cops. They just drove by and hoped that their child wasn't there. Or they said that their child said they were going and they drove by and they're glad that they told their child to stay home. There was supposed to be some big meetup at a park or whatever the case it was. Like, where is our decency as adults? Everything young people learn, they learn from us, directly or indirectly. If it's the music, who's raising the young people making the music? Who's playing the music? Who's allowing the music to be played? Who's promoting the music? Right? Like, until we get real serious and say we shutting all of this shit down, we boycotting everything, we protesting everything. The music that's bad, the movies that's bad, like the movies, all of this shit is an influence. I remember Jay-Z said something about, he said Scarface the movie did more than Scarface the rapper to me. Right? How many people, my generation and older, right? Jay-Z's older than me, but how many people from the 70s, 80s, 90s wanted to be like Scarface? So many, right? Big in the streets and take everybody out. So many people wanted to be like that. or the Scarface shirts, right? Like Tony Montana, right? Like Goodfellas, right? Like how many? So we talk about the issue amongst our young people today. Don't pass the blame and just say they're crazy, they're this, they're that. Say we breeded this, we created this. And clearly, again, everything, like as generations go on, things intensify, things get a little more intense. So yes, the easier access to weapons, right? Is a degeneration, right? It become more hype, more intense, more vicious. Yes, that's what happens, but it's came from us, and us it came from. But if everybody keeps blaming everybody, say, well, our parents was like this, and then this is the way it's always been, then how do we solve the problem? How do we solve the problem? But accountability is key. Accountability is key. Not just talking to young people, but speaking with young people, letting them know that, yo, listen, I don't know what you may be going through, but I understand that you may be really angry, right? Especially if you know that there's been some trauma in their life. So a few years ago, I was at a United Nations event. Right, I was at this house event. It was the General Assembly launch, right? The old police headquarters in Manhattan. All right, and the guy whose house it was, we got into a really great conversation. We spoke about young people, we spoke about youth violence, right? He said, why are young people so violent? I said, because they're angry. He said, well, why are they so damn angry? I said, because they've had grief that's never been addressed. Young people are experiencing grief that has never been addressed. Parents divorcing, right? Father not there, mother on drugs or not there, right? A parent passing, a grandparent passing. These young people are losing friends. They're having more friends. Like this generation, the last 5, 10 years, more young people have lost their friends and their peers more than any other generation prior of young people, right? When I was young, I lost a few friends, right? 96, my cousin Harry died in a car accident, right? Also died with twin Scarface twin from Infamous Mob, same car accident. They both died. Um, but at that age, like my peers weren't being boomed, right? Not like that. If it was like a stabbing, right? Somebody had a knife, something like that. But it wasn't. And again, that's the advancement of just life, right? Things intensify, things become more. Um, but these young people are living with so much trauma, so much trauma, so much trauma, and their brains don't know how to fucking process any of this shit because it's constant trauma. Again, it's constant trauma. The brain doesn't know if something's real or imagined, right? So the movies, I mean, the real life shit is traumatic. Then you add the movies and the music, it's trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma. Their brains, like literally, their brains can't even breathe. And then there's no trauma outlets. They expect to just go to school, focus, get good grades. That's what they're expected to do. How? How the hell do we expect a 14-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old to experience this real life trauma in their own lives, have no outlet for it, especially our young men who are taught they can't cry, right? Our young men who are taught they can't cry still, to just go on with life and be a productive member of society, to just go to school and focus, get over it. That happens. Like, nah, it's like there are young people. I know a young person, Sean, dad not there, sister lost her life, pregnant sister lost her life, mother dies about 2 years later, right? God brother lost his life, right? Even before his sister lost her life. Father not there, God brother lost his life. God brother was 10 years old, lost his life. Sister, 16, lost her life. Knew a few other young people who lost their life. Mother transitions. What do we expect him to become without a community supporting him and lifting him up and speaking with him and asking him what does he need and checking in with him, and not just asking because he may not even know what he needs, but pouring into him. Like, what do we expect him to become? Our young people are hurting. Hurt people hurt people. We say it all the time. Hurt people hurt people. Sick people make people sick. Healed people heal people. Our young people are hurting and they're sick. Literally, they're sick. Mental health. People want to act like mental health is not your mental state is the cause of everything. Everything. Your life goes as your mental health goes. 100%. When your mental health is in turmoil and you are constantly thinking about violence and it's constant violence in your mind from real life it happening, right? To you remembering, then that happened to stuff happening to you real time, to the music, to the movies, to the newspapers, to the magazines, to the news. So much violence in your brain. What comes out? Violence. Violence has to come out. That's the only thing. What else can come out? There's no love. There's no marriage. There's no even even the baby showers. There's fights at the baby showers. Shootings at the baby showers. Right? I'm shooting in Jamaica at a baby shower a couple years ago, right outside the baby shower, in the baby shower in Brooklyn. Right? So many different stories. What up? What do we expect our young people to become when this is what they're surrounded with, when this is what they're inundated with? How do we expect them to know love, to be love, to know peace, to live in peace? When we as adults can't even live in peace. We as adults got conflict. We as adults are fighting. 60-year-olds arguing, fighting. 50-something-year-olds arguing, fighting outside at farm stands, right? Like real life shit. How the fuck do we expect our children to be peaceful when the adults can't even be peaceful? They holding on to beefs for 20 years, 30 years. This motherfucker been, how the fuck? Cussing out friends and shit. 70-year-olds fighting, arguing. How the fuck what do we expect our children to do? We have unrealistic expectations as adults. We expected young people to just learn peace, and the adults, the majority of the adults around them ain't peaceful. Because even if you pretend in front of your child, you talking shit about other adults, gossiping, talking about who got their ass whipped, who need to get their ass whipped. You talking about that shit as an adult. And again, adults are sharing videos. I see so many of my peers share videos of fights, of young people fighting. Right? They share it and they laughing about it. They're laughing about it. They share videos of adults fighting, drunk adults, adults that are on drugs. They're sharing videos of them fighting and somebody being hurt. They're sharing that on social media. So, like, what do we expect our young people to do? The same exact shit. Share the videos, record the videos so they can make World Star. Right now, it's every outlet. It's not even just World Star no more. That was years ago. It's everywhere now. It's all over Instagram. It's all over Facebook. It's all over TikTok. And then Kimona mentioned something yesterday. Do they even know that this is real? That this is real life? Some don't. Some really think it's a movie. Playing violent video games in a movie since a youth, you think that like your brain and adults, because your brain may be a little more developed, you could rationalize. Some of these adults, these children, none of them are at that point yet. And so some think that like it's not that serious, it's not that real. All right, I boom this person, they're gonna live. Or if they don't live, like it's not that, like they don't understand the gravity of their behaviors, of their actions, of their mindsets, of the things that they are engaged in, the things that they're doing. They can't understand it. So us as adults, we gotta intervene. And the intervening doesn't mean to yell, scream, to be violent. It means to pour in, to show love, to show up, to be present, to provide the necessary resources, knowing what these young people need, being able to identify. All right, yes, every young person is different, but there's a commonality, right? And what's the commonality? Grief, anger, trauma, right? Lack of desire, lack of hope, lack of seeing the future, right? So we as adults, everybody going to do a part, right? Cool. It's 20 of us. All right. There's 80 young people over here, right? There's 100-something young people in our neighborhood, right? And now on our block, how many young people? Like we can get these demographics, right? Where the young people hanging. We got to. This is why yesterday we spoke about the power of collective action. This is why we have to move collectively, because one person can't fucking do it all, right? One person cannot do it all. But together, if we talk, we organize, we strategize, we can show up at the schools, we can show up at the parks after school, and not to condemn, no, but to literally talk, to build, to say, yo, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? And to come with ideas, to come with smiles, to come with food, to come with snacks, to come with fucking juices, to come with ices, to come with things that young people enjoy, right? Yo, listen, yo, working on this project over here, working on this movie. Y'all want to be part of this movie, right? Again, that was one of the reasons I even started Queensbridge Studios. My love of film, yes, but I was like, yo, like, I know that that's a solution. Why? Because I was a young person and I wanted to make films. There was no outlet, so I rebelled. I'm looking at these young people. What are they doing? A great majority of them, they're making music videos, they're filming and documenting, right? Like they could be film directors, they could be screenwriters. They've experienced enough shit to write screenplays, right? About the shit they've experienced, the shit that they've seen, the shit that they've heard, right? So I want to, again, the thing I want to do more, and I can't do it by myself, and I would love to connect with more people, right? And I try to connect with some people, but everybody got a different mission, right? Some people are clearly they are doing the work, but everybody's mission is different. But want to bring film photography to more young people, right? Film and photography to more young people. Go outside with cameras. Where's a lot of young people hang out at? Let's go over there with a bunch of cameras. Let's go over there with some script ideas, right? And let's just improv on the spot, right? Like young people love that shit. I've seen it. I've seen young people who um, were out there in the streets who are violent, right? I've seen them engage in film. I've seen them in Queensbridge. I've seen them in other hoods, right? Like you see it. So cool. Let's create a series around some shit that's like we don't want to glorify anything, but like let's create some real shit, right? Like we could show like this is what this leads to through film. Get young people involved. They will be involved. There's so many stories of adults who were troubled youth who found their way through the arts. So many stories, so many examples, right? So the arts is a solution. When we spoke a few nights ago on the nightly series, right, 50 Days of Divine Discipline series about expression, when you have all of this energy, this anger, this frustration, all of this just youthful fucking exuberance, right? This hype energy, you have no way to express that shit in a creative form. You carry it, right? You carry it, and again, it's energy. Energy, it contained, it fucking combusts and it explodes. And unfortunately, sometimes it explodes and it causes harm, right? I was a young person, a lot of energy, right? No real, I wasn't expressing it. The grief was suppressing it, all right? The anger was suppressing it. And eventually I fucking exploded. And I'm telling you, the situation I went to prison for, at no point was it that serious for me to do what I did. For me to have the response that I had, the situation was not that serious. It wasn't. And I know that. And so I'm grateful that no life was taken at that point, right? Because I would have been devastated once I sobered up and cleared my head and got my heart a little clearer, right? A little purer. I would have been devastated. So thankfully that it happened the way it happened, right? I sat down for 3 years. And then I was able to come out with a different mindset and able to, at some point, completely transform my life and then make amends. No life was taken. But I get it. Once a life is taken, it's hard to, but at some point we gotta be like, yo, listen, like I'm tired of this shit. I don't want to get hurt no more. I don't want to lose no more friends. I don't want to go to prison no more. And most people don't. The great majority of humans, especially young people, they want to be outside. They want to be free. They want to be able to eat what they want. They want to be able to go where they want. They want to be able to do all of the things they want, play all the video games. There's no video games in prison. No video games when you're dead. Right? No real fun when you're on a run. Right? They don't really want to live like that. Nobody really, really wants to live like that. And the people who do want to live like that, for the most part, is they're conditioned to think that that's just part of life. That's just what happens. And it's like, that doesn't have to be life. At any point, we could completely shift the paradigm and shift the reality of the way we are living. We don't have to live the way we've been living. The way we've been living is not normal life. It's not really life. We've been existing, not really living, because we're not really thriving. Right? We've been surviving, but not thriving. And again, that leads to the fucking system that we're building. We want to get everybody the realistic opportunity to fucking thrive, adults and youth alike. Everybody should have the tools necessary to process their emotions, to be able to identify their traumas, right? To express it in a healthy way, right? And then to get on the path of thriving, to be able to have an opportunity to fucking design their ideal future, to envision that, right? To be able to experience that, right? Through VR experience, right? And to know that that shit is possible. Your ideal life is possible for you. regardless of where you are, regardless of what your fucking starting point is, regardless of what your parents have done or are doing or not doing, regardless of what community, what environment you live in, what family you come from, your ideal life is possible for you. But it's us as adults. But again, the problem, I'm always gonna say the problem is the fucking adults. I'm never gonna say the problem is the young people. The problem is the adults don't believe it. The adults don't live in peace. The adults ain't striving for shit. They outside talking about people. Literally, there are some situations I've seen in my neighborhood, Queensbridge, right? Specifically, which is where I spent the most time, where when I was a young person, the older lady on the bench was talking shit. As I got older, her daughter, right, it was the grandmother, then the daughter, my friend's parent, on the bench talking shit. And now as an adult, some of my peers on the bench talking shit. That's what their grandmother did. Generational fucking patterns are real. We spoke about that on the nightly series the other day. Generational patterns, what behaviors, what patterns did we inherit from our parents and our grandparents and our environment? One of the biggest things that we inherited was talking shit about the problem and not doing anything to solve the problem. Talking shit about all of the young people, talking shit about all of the people in the neighborhood, causing all of the harm, all of the business, but you ain't helping at all. Because you are minding my business. That's their business. They got to deal with that. They got to deal with it. It's their business until their business gets into your life, and now it hurts you, and now you're mad. And now you're saying something should have been done. Something needs to be done. If you would have addressed it, nipped it, as they say, nipped it in the bud when it first started to sprout, it wouldn't be like this. All right. So we got a lot of work to do, man. We have a lot of work to do as adults, right? Why are our young people so violent? Because we as adults are violent. We as adults have condoned violence for generations. We as adults have propagated violence for generations. We as adults have encouraged violence. The youth are violent because they've been subjected to violence. Violence enacted upon them. Violence surrounding them in the neighborhood. Parents fighting. People fighting in the neighborhood. All the fighting in the war movies on TV. All of the music. Our young people are violent because we are a violent society. So if we want our young people to be more peaceful, if we want them to be less violent, then it starts with us. It starts with us as adults. All of us as adults. Being more peaceful. It was crazy. So many adults quote it. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the change that you want to see. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Not just when it's convenient, but all the time. When it's difficult, when it's hard. This is something that I live by. I say I want a peaceful world. A few people was there last year. Somebody tried to fight me on Father's Day in front of my children. I could have easily, would have been justified in matching that energy. And it would have been ugly for every single person involved. But because I want to see a peaceful world, I'm committed to seeing a peaceful world. Even if I got to cry after, hold my emotions, swallow my pride. And cry after. I'd rather hold that and cry and feel that whatever the feeling was. I was punked. I'm a punk. I'm a pussy. Right? All of the stuff. I'm this, I'm that. I'd rather feel that and go through that own shit internally than to respond in a way that I don't want other people to respond in. Right? I'm not that person anymore. I really want to see a peaceful world. And how do you create a peaceful world? By being peace. How do you create a more loving world? By being more loving. So if us as adults, if we want to create a more peaceful world, if we want to create a more loving world, a more compassionate world for our children, we have to be more loving, more compassionate, more peaceful, more understanding, more graceful, right? More forgiving, right? The adult talked about their family. The adult owed them a couple of dollars and they're ready to take it there. What example are we setting? Literally, what example are we setting? The adults still talking about going to get their daughter, going to get their son for some beef. That somebody said something. They didn't even do nothing. The adults again in their 60s, I know personally, who don't like this person for some shit that happened 30 years ago. And so yeah, they may not be. Some of them are fighting. Some they may not be physically be fighting, but when they see each other, there's arguments, there's curse out, there's slick talk, right? There's eyes rolling. It's fucking 60, 70 years old. What the fuck are you doing? Right? So if that's happening at that age, what the fuck do you expect the young people who are 14, 15, 13, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21? How the fuck do you expect them to deal with a little bit of conflict? Some shit that happened 6 months ago, yesterday, right? How the fuck do you expect them to deal with it? There's gonna be some words, but it's gonna be more action. They got more energy, so it's quick to action. It's not even thinking about. So like, stuff really hurts. It really hurts me. And it's crazy. I think more than the actual violence that hurts me is the commentary of the adults. How is it that you as an adult will say violence is not the answer, but then when a young person commits an act of violence that you deem senseless and brutal, you then want violence to be enacted upon them? If it's always going to be an eye for eye, tooth for tooth, the whole world going to be blind and toothless at some point. The whole world going to be blind and toothless. So what are we doing for real? What example are we setting as adults? We got to look in the mirror. It starts man in the mirror, man. Man in the mirror is MJ, one of the freaking most popular songs of Michael Jackson. Heal the World is my favorite because if we don't heal the world, we're going to continue to live in a hurting world. In a world that is hurt, that is sick, that is going to continue to spew that outward. And we're all going to be impacted. We all are impacted one way or fucking another. And so I challenge my peers, challenge my fellow adults, my fellow parents, my caretakers, those who love our young people to really think more about what you can do. Excuse me. What can you do? What can you do, man? Can you join an organization? Can you join a program? Right? Can you launch something in your neighborhood? If there's nothing in your neighborhood, can you launch something? Right? Start something to engage the young people. Right? You got children. Let's figure out more ways to talk to your children collectively. Right? Maybe you don't know how. And that's okay to say that. Like, yo, I don't really know how to engage them. Let's figure it out together. All right, let's figure it out together, man. So the young people are clearly crying for love, crying for attention, crying for support. They're yearning for love. And how do you know they're yearning for love? Because they're acting violent. They're acting violently. That's a result of the problem. Lack of love. And yeah, some young people ain't gonna be receptive on the first try. So that's another thing adults do. Well, they don't want to fucking listen. They don't want to hear your bullshit. They don't want to hear you talk to them, talk at them. You ain't building with them. You ain't asking them what they want to do. You ain't asking them what's going on, right? You just telling them what they shouldn't be doing, what they need to stop doing, what they need to be doing. That's all you're fucking doing, and they ain't trying to hear that shit. You ain't trying to hear that shit when somebody tell you what you should be doing or need to be doing. Mind your fucking business. That's what adults do. So you don't think the young people are going to be the same? Oh, they're more disrespectful. Where the fuck do you think they get the disrespect from? Where the fuck do you think they get the vulgarity from? They get it from adults who are vulgar, who don't want to listen, who didn't listen to their parents. Shit is a vicious cycle, guys. But I believe in the power of collective action. I believe in our collective ability to create a more peaceful world, to create a more loving world. I believe in our collective ability to heal our world in our time. Right? I believe in us. I 100% wholeheartedly believe in us as a human family. I believe in the light bearers. I believe in the truth tellers. I believe in the peacemakers. I believe that we can make peace real in our lifetime. I believe that. I wouldn't be doing this work if I didn't. I wouldn't be as committed as I am if I didn't believe in us and our power to transform our society, to transform our reality, and to bring forth a new paradigm where young people could have conflicts and laugh and walk away. Be like, you know what? I ain't even getting into that. It's okay. You right. You got it. Right. But adults don't know how to do that. So a lot of work ahead. But yeah, our youth, why are our youth so violent? Because they're angry. And why are they so angry? because they're fucking grieving and they don't even know it. They don't even know that they're grieving. So if we want to address the violence, we have to address the grief. We have to address the mental health, the emotional state, right, and the spiritual health of our young people. And if we do that, then we could get we could see some real change, some real transformation. But listen, TikTok, man, we're gonna get off this. We're gonna burn some Palo Santo. Right, we're gonna burn some Palo Santo, and we are going to get into a meditation. Again, cannot have any smoke on TikTok, so I'm gonna say thank you. Mona said, Ms. Juicy said, we all need love and compassion. More love and compassion, that's a fact. But listen, man, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Facebook and YouTube, stay on. We are going to get into this meditation. TikTok, please do tune in tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to be talking about building movements, right? How we build a movement, why movements are necessary, why movements are more powerful than just one-off moments, right? That feel good. Right? A lot of moments feel good, but they don't really create lasting change. So we're going to get into how do we build a movement that creates lasting change, something that's sustainable, something that's long-term, something that has real impact. TikTok, I love you guys. I see you tonight on YouTube. And if not, I'll see you tomorrow right here on, well, not right here, but on SR Daily at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Right. I'll holler at you guys. Peace. Oh, let's burn this Palo Santo. Wherever you are, if you're laying or sitting, just find a comfortable position. Allow your back to be straightened by the chair behind you, or if you're laying, just straighten your body. Allow your arms to rest gently in your lap or by your side, whichever is more comfortable for you. Allow your head to lean forward so that your chin is in your chest. And allow your eyes to close ever so softly, so long as you are comfortable and safe. Just get in touch with your breathing. Remembering to breathe in through your nose slowly, exhaling through your mouth, through your nose, also slowly. And just for the next few moments, create an image in your mind of what a healed world looks like. A healed community, a healed block. What does that look like for you? What does it look like for you to see young people processing their grief? What does it look like for you to see adults getting along, even through conflict? What does it look like for you to see youth and adults working together to create something beautiful in a neighborhood? Let's take a few moments to create that image of a healed community. Babies, adolescents, youth, teens, young adults, and adults, elders, older adults, living in harmony, working together. What does that look like for you? You can simply create an image of the block that you live on, of your favorite park, and bring the people into that space, of the world as a whole, community to community. Take a few moments to envision that. Know that whatever you envisioned is indeed possible. It starts with you. It starts with you. The healed world that you envision, that you would like to see, begins with you. So continue to walk in love, continue to keep peace at the front of your mind. Know that your vision is possible and it's probable. You just gotta put the work in, connect with other like minds, figure out how do you make it a real thing. Know that you are loved, know that you are cherished, know that you are sacred and you are adored. You are stronger than you think, you are more powerful than you know, and you are greater than you could ever imagine. I love you, I love you, I love you. Ashe. When you're ready, you can slowly begin to open your eyes, wiggle your toes, move your fingers, give yourself a neck roll. Come back to the space. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on this Sunday. Listen, family, we got work to do, but we could do it. We could do it collectively. We may start with one individual starting something, committing to something. Some stuff already started with one individual. You don't got to start everything from scratch yourself. But let's continue to connect, man. Let's pour into each other so we can pour into our young people. They need us. It's evident that we are needed. Our love, our nurturing, our guidance, our protection is needed, man. I love you guys. Have a beautiful Sunday. And for some, I'll see you guys tonight, 9 p.m. YouTube, Queensbridge Studios. And for the rest, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 9:30 for SR Daily. Have a great day. Peace.